The battle over whether to allow public dollars to go toward private education is more than Democrats versus Republicans. Rural Republicans like Representative Gary Van Dever came out against the governor's plan after raising concerns about how it could affect education in their districts. The representative joins us now for insight into his perspective. Representative Van Dever, last session you voted no on the school vouchers, education savings accounts, but you said you were open to a discussion with them. Can you explain to us what is your stance on this issue?
You know, again, I'm always open to discussion. That's how we get things done in the legislature. But, you know, given my background and just my experience with public education, I just have a philosophical issue with many of the ideas behind a school voucher program.
Well, I want to get into some of those issues that you have with school vouchers. Let's talk about, I think last year you had said private schools that took voucher money couldn't select students. They had to choose those or bring those students into their school if those students had state vouchers. Do you still feel that way? Is that one issue that you think needs to be, in this new law coming up?
Yes. Short answer is yes. I believe we need to do everything we can to to create a level playing field with whoever is getting state funding for it with education dollars, whether it be private schools, charter schools, home schools, public schools, whoever. We just need to create a level playing field and not create winners and losers. And to me, a school's ability to hand select students who they choose to educate creates a very unlevel playing field. And so, I certainly want to do everything we can to eliminate any kind of unlevel playing field or system that creates winners and losers.
What are your constituents saying in your district about their concerns with school vouchers?
Yeah, my constituents that are actually reaching out to me and sharing an opinion on the subject are pretty much overwhelmingly opposed to school vouchers. Again, most of their opinions come from the importance of the local school to this local community. I serve over 30 school districts, and they are pretty much all small rural districts. And in those districts, the school is the center of the community. If those communities lose their schools, they lose their communities in many cases. So, again, certainly we want to look at what it does, what the bill does, and I know we've been told that certain proposals will not affect funding of public schools. And if that's the case, then certainly that is great. I appreciate that. But I think we need to be careful that we're not just looking at today, but we're looking to the future implications of this bill. And 5 years, 10 years down the road, does this program grow as it has in other states, so that it does become overbearing to the state budget? Does Texas still enjoy the robust economy 5 years, 10 years down the road that we enjoy today? So there's just a lot of unanswered questions, I think, around that.
Okay. You have said here that your position has not changed on school vouchers. You faced a very tough primary this year from your opponent, went to a runoff election, an opponent that was backed by Governor Greg Abbott. Does that change any kind of technique in how you approach this in the upcoming session?
I would say not really, although let me be very, very clear. I welcome the opportunity to have discussions with the governor and his staff on this subject. I know this is a subject, an issue that is highly important to the governor, and certainly I want to work with the governor on this and every other issue. I've always considered the governor, to be a partner, and I've considered myself a partner of the governor's in all the things we've done to make Texas what it is today. But Texas is a big state, and I have to believe there's room in this state for at least two different opinions on an issue like school vouchers. And so, I believe there's room for differing opinions. That doesn't mean that just because we don't agree that we have to be enemies. Again, I look forward to working with my colleagues in the House, with colleagues in the Senate, and certainly the governor's office to craft a bill, which, by the way, we have not seen at this point, but to craft a bill that is good for the state of Texas and certainly good for the school children of Texas.
Texas could soon become one of a growing number of states to fund a program to help parents pay for private education. Arizona has had a program in place for more than a decade.
It gives parents ultimate choice because they decide where they want those school dollars spent.
The program is popular, but there have been concerns about cost and accountability.